Hey friends, welcome back to my walkthrough of Riven. I have managed to play within, let's see, the last time I recorded was a little over a week ago. So that's pretty good. I go from like 4 months absence to now just 9 days of absence. So that's improvement. For me it is. Oh, here. I have a rabbit trail here. Do you see this game right there? The Room 2? That's been sitting there for a while now, and you've probably, maybe you've seen it. And maybe you thought, ooh, she has The Room. She's played The Room. She must like The Room. Actually, no. I don't like The Room, and I just wanted you to know that. I played through the first game, and I recorded video of it, and I really liked the puzzles. The way they designed the puzzles was very tactile, and it felt like you really were manipulating objects like a Chinese puzzle box type stuff. Anyway, the sounds, the visuals of it was really cool, but it was kind of creepy. And at the time, when I was playing the first game, I thought, it's kind of creeping me out a little bit, but okay. And I finished it and I moved on to the second one. Well, the second one got even creepier, and to the point that it was just like, okay, what's going on here? And so I did a little bit of research and found out that there was just some like elements that were very much, it was like the occult. There were some occult elements brought into the game, including the first one. I just was naive. I didn't know. But yeah, when I found that out, that just totally disturbed me. So I deleted all the game footage I have of that one, and I just have yet to uninstall The Room 2 from my computer, and it just sits there. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't recommend it. I love the puzzles and the designs. That was really good. But yeah, the storyline, some of the stuff in there, not good. So anyway, just my rabbit trail I needed you to know about. Here, let me go ahead and uninstall this right now. All right, offensive game is gone. I'm sorry to whoever made that game. You had some good things going for you, but just, Jungle Island 2. They get in and out of that thing? That's what I want to know. There's not a ladder that I can see. Maybe they extend like a plank out over this ledge here. Still, that looks dangerous. And if you remember the last time we were here on Jungle Island, I left this handy dandy little step ladder. Not step ladder, but a ladder, so we can get back up here to this prison. Prisoner is still gone. Wouldn't it be awful if while we were in here, someone were to come along and shut this door behind us, trapping us in here forever? That would be bad. That's so gross, sticking your hand down in there. I love the music that Robin Miller did for this game. This segment in particular is a favorite. Alright, we have a puzzle, and if you watch my previous videos, you'll be able to see how I solve this puzzle and come up with the answers, but we have to push down each one of these little stone tablets. I don't know what you would call these. We have to push them certain ones down in a particular order, and when we do, something magical happens. Alright, so the first one we're looking for is a fish. And it looks like the fish that Gehn was able to observe from his observation island. Number 2 is a beetle. Number 3 is the frog. This frog. Number 4 is the snark. Whatever, or the sunner, I think is what it's actually supposed to be called, but I always called it a snark, and I don't know why. Last one, number 5, is the wark. Is that not neat? So I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I'm thinking, based on some of the observations that Gehn has made, so if you look, the water went all the way back here. And I think Gehn in his journal observed that heat causes, there's like certain organisms in water that causes it to move away from heat, so I'm wondering if this thing somehow heats up, causes the water to move. I don't know. That's too nerdy. Let's go here. That's a big tree. It's not just a tree. Look, there are windows in it. And smoke coming out of the top. There are people living in that tree. And actually, when we were on Prison Island, we saw, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that this is the same type of tree that was on Prison Island, except chopped down. Ooh, look at that. Look at that weird bird. We want to get to that tree, but I don't see a way to get over there besides swimming, and that water looks kind of creepy. It's a link. Ah! You got me. The end. That's the prisoner who we were trying to set free on Jungle Island. Some thanks. I'm alive! Actually, we should thank that prisoner. Because there we were standing on that little ledge right there. We are in the tree! That's cool. We should thank the prisoner because he led us right to where we needed to be. Catherine told us that we needed to find the Moiety, and this is where they are. Hiding in this tree, in this world, that you can only get to by linking book. Got a little ledge bed. Look at this place, isn't this cool? This whole set was so creative. What a neat idea. Houses inside of a big old tree. There are different things. If you stand here long enough or you move back and forth between the door and the window, you see different things from time to time. Let me see if I can shuffle through them so you can see them. Somebody do an ambiance video of this thing. Turn it into HD. That'd be cool looking. There's a dude standing on that bridge. I really do like the sound effects that they used in this area. Okay, I can't seem to get it to show more than just this fellow walking along the bridge, but I thought there was a shot of another guy, like down there at the base of that tree, kind of walking around the curve over here. But it won't show it to me, and I've tried several times. Alright, let's move on. We can't get out. We're locked in here, sadly. Ah! I'll just lie down again, I guess. Nothing else to do.
Katarina e now da saya e palo. Yapa e mana e lepo. Pekaretere wira pe yelo kene falapo. Tisai. Why te falupe?
I can't remember anymore who that woman was, what her name was. Come back here, please! But anyway, if I remember correctly, she's telling us that this is Catherine's journal. And this is the prison book that Atris sent with us that looks like a link back to Dunny, but it's really not. And this is what we're supposed to use to trap Gehn. So we can't go in there. Don't do it. It's tempting. If you do it, you'll get stuck there forever and die. Or something like that. Anyway, so we keep that. We have that back. Woohoo. And this is Catherine's journal. So that woman, somehow, I don't remember how exactly, but somehow... Whoa. Hold on. I guess that woman wasn't done yet.
Sirapo.
Yeah, I got it.
Ibuko mobuko wisipo. Na vene. Tapo mo revene beno.
Okay.
Caterinene. Uisi fapolo yai sepe yai.
Wow, it sounded like she was pleading with us for something there. I can't remember her name, but she was one of Catherine's friends. And I think that they somehow planned it that this book would be retrieved by the Moiety. When we first got here, you remember it was stolen from us by Smiley Cho. And then Smiley Cho got shot with a blow dart by the same dude who shot us with a blow dart, it looks like, and took the book away so that Gehn would not get a hold of it. They kept it safe. And then Catherine, I believe, gave this journal to that woman there who was just in this room to give to us, to help us understand more of the situation and, help us along on our journey. And gave us a nice way back to Riven. Fantastic. In fact, I think this was the same book. The same linking book that was sitting over there in that room when we got shot. Alright, so let's lie down here and read through Catherine's journal. And yes, I'm going to read this whole thing out loud, so please skip through if you're not interested in listening. I linked to Riven a week ago. The smell of the place overwhelmed me moments before I could see anything. With my sight only partially cleared, I stood motionless, peering ahead through a dim veil which was slowly lifting. There was a violent clang, and bars appeared. I remember breathing slowly and very deeply, tasting the familiar Riven air, but not recognizing a thing. I must have been hit with the dart right away. I thought it was an insect bite at first. I'm trying to remember it all, but it's difficult, maybe because of the drug. There was a voice. A man I did not recognize stood before me, Rivenese, though he was wearing dunny dress. He seemed to be talking to me, but the poison was already taking effect. A shadow crept in, and I fell asleep. Then there were the many voices, but I understood none of them. Like hundreds of people whispering, I couldn't wake up. No matter, the dream did end, and now to be here with... how do you say that? I don't know how to say that. I don't even know what letter that is. That a G? GTI? Okay, Googling. That's an E, apparently. Etty? We'll say Etty. All right, and now to be here with Etty. It's been so many years, I didn't realize how much I missed her. Like a piece of me I had forgotten I'd lost. But she's beautiful and so full of warmth. But the years have also left her with a wound which was not there when we were children. All right, we have something that interrupts the journal. And it's from Catherine. I write quickly from my prison. Neela will return your book, which the Moiety intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atris for a very specific purpose. Gehn will desire to use it, although he may have suspicions. If you can find my prison, you will still need the combination to release me. Gehn keeps it in his office. Then I assume we're to signal Atris. I think I know how it might be done, but don't signal him before I am released. Catherine. Well, that's cool. Wait, no, I'm not done. I want to keep reading. Okay, thank you. I do wish you were more interested. It seems like I'm asking all the questions. It's awkward. No one asks me where I've been or what I've been doing. This hurts, but I understand it. This hurts, but I understand it. Their beliefs are born of ignorance and oppression. They are a gentle people? Okay. They are a gentle people, but they've had their nest destroyed, and now they frantically cling to anything that might save them. But why have they chosen to cling to me? I'm confused. As a child, I always felt out of place here. I never belonged. They misunderstood me, and I couldn't relate to them. But now I'm overwhelmed by an intense feeling that I owe everything to them and this place. I thought I would never see them again, and yet I'm here. I've been given this second chance. But a second chance at what? Saving them? Fulfilling their prophecies? Being their savior? She scribbled something here, but it's hard to make out. The Moiety. Atris would want me to chronicle all that I've learned. I can at least record some of it. It seems that when Atris and I trapped Gehn on Riven many years ago, our efforts were witnessed by most of the inhabitants here. 2 of the Rivenese even witnessed the confrontation with Gehn at the fissure, where I linked back to Mist and where Atris threw himself into the abyss. Of course, they understood little of what they were seeing, but they somehow were able to guess that we had won. That Gehn was no god at all, and only a feeble impostor, a false god, and that we had trapped him here on Riven. I always hoped they would deduce this simple truth, but their further conclusions have astonished me. Atris had stripped Gehn of his power, therefore Atris must be a true god. As a god, he was choosing me, the spiritual misfit from a Rivenese womb, to be his wife. I was transcending into deity and would lord over Riven forever. Thus the Moiety, as they call themselves, were born, a dissident society, sworn enemies of Gehn. I did not know of their beliefs regarding Atris and myself until 2 days ago. Etty was, for some reason, hesitant to tell me. I can't figure out why. I know she doesn't believe these things. Of course, everyone else assumed that I would be aware of my own god status, so they made no effort to inform me. I only realized it at a recent gathering to which I was invited. I sat at the front of a dimly lit and crowded cave as they told a mythical story of my own life, acting out the battle between Atris, myself, and Gehn at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated into grandiose proportions. It was offensive, but I was unable to stop it. I was unable to break the illusion, which is the very foundation of their hope and purpose, and which has given them courage to band together and rebel against Gehn. Since then, I've learned of other doctrines and beliefs that have evolved, the most disturbing of which is the conviction that one day I would return to Riven to free them. Some believe that I will overthrow Gehn. Others believe that I will bring them to paradise. What's that scribble mean? Her pen was running out of ink. I don't know how to deal with this. I fight myself. I love these people, my only real kindred, but they will not love me as an equal, which hurts me. I would rather be their slave than their master. More strange doodles. What is that even supposed to be? That's a moiety knife. Over the years, as Gehn's power has become greater and greater, the moiety's numbers have grown, and they have become more and more adept at hiding themselves. They now live in a complex network of caves that he still has not discovered. The moiety, for the most part, have completely severed their relationship with any of the Rivenese that chose against joining them. But I hope they've not sacrificed vital links in order to remove the cancer. Ever father and stillness. Even father and what is that? Even father and I gotta look that up. Okay, I got it. Even father and Enant, or Enant maybe, are still on the surface in Gehn's domains. And I long to see them, but a dimness shrouds Etty's face every time I've mentioned them. Uh-oh. Did they become betrayers? Did they betray her? Since this break took place, they have interfered with the surface in superficial ways, occasionally sabotaging one of Gehn's constructions or stealing food from the villagers. They wear strange masks and costumes during their short forays to the island's surface, and take this something, I don't know, but they take it very seriously, refusing to be seen by anyone outside the moiety unless they are properly attired. They get some pleasure. They get much pleasure out of the fact that those on the surface are frightened by their costumes, calling them evil spirits or ghosts. It was during one of these expeditions that they fortuitously rescued me from one of Gehn's guards when I first appeared on the island. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been delivered again immediately. I have no doubt that he's now searching for me. Of course, I am now aware that I was fooled. Atris is not here. I was at first devastated by this realization. Now I am thankful he would be in extreme peril here. Also, there is a quiet inner voice, an echoing remnant that wants him far away. I have just witnessed an aged dying, gasping his last breath. Today I ventured to the surface to see what has become of this island. I hoped it would not be as bad as the moiety had reported. It was worse. They have become slowly accustomed to this steady decay, but I was devastated. The lips from which the kiss is wrought has fallen words, will fall cold breath. The womb from which the cry released has suffered hurt, will suffer death. Sounds like a poem. To get to the surface, we had to travel through a complex series of doors and passages. Before the last of these doors, they offered me a weapon, which I accepted, and then a mask. I held the mask in my hands for a while, wondering what sort of terror it might invoke in those members of my family who still live on the surface. But I also knew I must keep my identity hidden from Gehn's ever-vigilant eye, so I accepted it as well. Then, together we swam a short expanse and emerged out of the surface of the ocean under a rocky overhang. The harsh sunlight made my eyes sting, but the fresh, rich air was exhilarating after those past weeks in the dank caves. The two men with me were silent, communicating only with hand signals. The three of us emerged from our hiding place and made our way to the top of the plateau. At the edge of a thick and overgrown area of the forest, they stopped, peered through the foliage for a moment, and then turned to me as if awaiting my command. But could not respond, in fact. In fact, I found it difficult to move. I was smelling, hearing, and breathing my youth. This swept over me in a matter of seconds. But in seconds more, all feeling was gone. There was numbness. We did not stay long on the surface, but it was long enough to see the worst. Riven, which was once one island, has split apart into 5 distant pieces, about a half a mile apart. 4 of these have been claimed by Gehn as his exclusive domain. Only his ministers and personal militia are even allowed access to them. From my vantage point at the edge of the forest, I could see 3 of these islands. They are stripped of their former beauty and are riddled with Gehn's self-absorbed constructions. The moiety rarely visit these closely guarded places. There is another island which I could not see, as it had evidently crept away to a terrific distance. The moiety are very unclear as to what exists on this island, except for the fact that they know it is where the great tree used to exist. The forest is located on the island that the surface dwellers in the moiety still refer to as Riven, but they also still refer to their entire world as Riven. This island is where the village is, which has changed dramatically. It is also the one remaining province of the people, though Gehn's influence can be seen everywhere. Here she drew a picture of the different islands. That looks like Plateau, Survey Island, Jungle Island, Temple Island, Crater Island. Of course, I know the reason for the fracturing of the island. The Moiety do not. Gehn wrote this place, and it will die, as all of Gehn's ages eventually die. I feel nothing today. I am nothing. I live in a cave on a dying world inhabited by people that they are treating me so strangely. They don't know how to relate to a god. I'm still an outcast here. They whisper amongst themselves, talking of my bravery during my excursion to the surface, how I walked across the island bold and unafraid. They don't know me. Even Ati is uncomfortable around me. At times there is no awkwardness, and I'm only Katrine. I think that's how you'd say that. Katrine. But at other times, I'm something else. I'm afraid. There's such a... What is that? Gaunt? I'm not sure. There's a numbness inside me. Today, I do not feel closeness with my people. Neither am I offended by their worship of me. I do not hate Gehn. I don't feel anything. I'm not even sure of... No, scratch that. At least Neela is still close. Yeah, it's Neela who gave us this journal, right? Yeah. What weird scribblings. I am boiling. Can't be worded. Gehn is making and writing books. I wish they had told me sooner. Atris should have realized this would happen. Of course, Gehn would have written all of the materials necessary to the Dunnycraft in making books into this age, and probably every other age he ever wrote. He is attempting to write his way out of here. We did not imprison him. We only delayed him. This age has become his factory, and the people are his machines, all laboring in his mad pursuit to become a god, to carry on his noble Dunny cause. So far, he has not been able to produce a fully functional book. Atris has never believed in destiny, but I don't know what else to call it. It's too perfect. It's too much of a coincidence. They hang on my every word, though they do not understand them. I'm their hope, and now I have returned. I owe this to them. There is no choice. Okay. And here she draws, it's the star fissure. So she's drawn the telescope, and she's zoomed in on the side of the structure holding up the telescope, and there's this little handle that she's telling us that needs to be turned down. We'll just file that away. It's been a long time since my last entry. It is hard to recognize, but I have found the star fissure. It is located on the island which the Rivenese call Aleppo, meaning water pool, but which is referred to by the Moiety as, I don't know what that says, meaning pool of stars. Having once allowed Atris to escape this age without leaving an open door behind us, it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. A crude telescope has been mounted over a locked viewpoint, the combination to which was acquired by the Moiety before my arrival. Aha! We'll file that away too. Stop. So she's drawn something else that we need to be aware of. In the early days, the Moiety, seeking an escape from Riven, briefly pursued the idea of reopening the fissure. They discovered a small mechanical stop to prevent the scope from hitting the portal window. Ultimately, however, they decided against opening it. I hate to think what would have happened to them if they had not left it alone. I've instructed them to stay away from it. I'm almost certain that with the decayed state of the islands, opening the fissure now would be disastrous. I have heard that in the days immediately following Gehn's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure. For he had seen the mist book fall from Atris's hands into the very same space. To this end, he would have people, alleged transgressors of the law, thrown into it so that he could observe their fate. The telescope which still stands there is one he had built for these callous experiments. It is said that they did not die, but what became of them remains a mystery. It appears that the limits of Gehn's optics prevented him from learning their fate. The star field beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. But people drown in a river. How is that hospitable? Anyway, this is how Atris explained it. After he had fallen into it, but much more than that. This is how Atris explained it. After he had fallen into it. But much more than that we've never understood, and we were never able to conclude upon its origins. But the visions tell me that it was born out of the will of the Maker, perhaps for some greater purpose that we cannot yet understand. I still remember Atris's words from his journal. I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse. There must be some greater reason behind it. I neglected to mention it earlier. The unique shape of one of the great daggers which appeared during our escape from Riven. The very dagger that stands vertically at one end of the has been adopted by the Moiety as the symbol of their cause. It is a sacred symbol for them. It is the representation of all their doctrine and their representation of me. Wow. How would you like to be depicted by a dagger? To deface this symbol is sacrilege. They have their own mythical explanation regarding its sudden origins. I haven't told them that I wrote it into this age along with all the other daggers. It's strange how such a young religion can be so unbending, even to their own God. I've tried to dissuade them of the notion that symbols contain so much power. The enemy uses this paranoia against them. They are fearful of Gehn's symbol and are terrorized by his symbolic use of the wark. But they don't want to hear this from me. Perhaps my attempts have even caused some of the younger members of the Moiety to doubt that I am Catherine. My rare encounters with those who say they follow Gehn have been discouraging. I have hoped to have some communications with the surface villagers, but they always flee from me. But I have heard news of some of the villagers' beliefs regarding Gehn. Soon after we trapped Gehn on Riven, he claimed that he was responsible for the daggers, placing them around the island as a reminder of their failure. In the village circles, it is told that this was a punitive act performed by Gehn to mark the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, if they had proven their devotion to him, they will be delivered into a new and better existence. I will continue to try to reach them. The door is open. Gehn is free. Gehn has the ability to create working books. In fact, he has written one age before I arrived, but has kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest ministers were aware until now. I'm not sure. Perhaps he has written other news. A few years ago, before the Moiety were forced into hiding, one of them managed to steal what appeared to be a test book that Gehn had intended to destroy. It had been partially written, but did not work. They didn't tell me about it until now because they thought it was useless. Back then, none of Gehn's books worked. But instead of correcting the problem at its source, he blamed it on the impure wood of the Riven forest and proceeded to engineer a cumbersome mechanical remedy. I'm having trouble with her handwriting sometimes. Engineer a cumbersome mechanical remedy, a complex series of domes to heal his book's inherent flaws. One of the consequences of this crude solution, however, was that the domes demanded huge amounts of energy, and the related problems delayed his success for quite some time. At last, however, he finished his work and was finally able to link to an age, but he kept his success extremely well hidden. However, for some reason or another, belligerent pride, he has made modifications to the domes which make it obvious that his using the domes to breathe life into his what? He has made modifications to the domes which make it obvious that he's using the domes to breathe life into his half-dead books. Perhaps he means to lure us into using the books in the domes. He can't believe that we would blindly swallow this suicidal... What? Suicidal what now? Suicidal bait. Suicidal bait. But he wouldn't know that we have one of his books, the stolen burnt book. There is a possibility of... Never mind. Have read burnt book. Age it describes would be unsuitable as new home for the moiety. Must be modified. Now she's starting to write like Adris. I will dream. Have requested a group to solve combination that will open the domes. Once open, we can power the burnt book. I do not think Gehn will interfere. He will leave the bait. Ah, yes. So she's trying to come up with a place for the people to live in, and it looks like she's designing the world we are in now, including the weird bird. Have begun writing the moiety's age. Now must acquire second book from Gehn. There is tension. A strain blurs my vision, and nightmares. Neela and Eti stay close. Now it looks like she's drawn the moiety knife over the fissure. There's a person holding it, and I don't know, is that supposed to be Gehn? Much has happened. Almost everything is prepared. We have stolen another book, but I'm concerned Gehn will miss it. We have also discovered the combinations for entering the domes, but we have not discovered the method for powering them. By powering our burnt book with Gehn's domes, we will be able to link to this age, but we will only have access to the domes for a short... What? But we will only have access to the domes for a short of time? That's weird. Weird. A short of time? That doesn't sound right. Before we are discovered. Therefore, well, you know what? That's actually pretty realistic. I do that all the time when I'm journaling and I'm like, my thoughts are coming faster than I can write them. I'm constantly leaving out words like that. So that's actually pretty realistic. Anyway, we will only have access to the domes for a short period of time before we are discovered. Therefore, we can only use the domes once. I must find another way to make the books work. The gateway image in Gehn's books and our burnt book all seem to share the same sickness if they are not powered. The images are blank. Yeah, blank. It might be possible to clear the vision with only thoughts. We'll write substance into the moiety age. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's thinking about what kind of stuff she might need to fix it, so she'll write that substance into the moiety age in order to fix the linking books. Very clever. Oh, she's a smart cookie. She and Atris were matched well. All is ready. Now all we can do is wait for word from the moiety. What is this? Hold on, looking this up again. From the Moieteer-esque What is that? Moiety-esque. Who are on the lookout for Gehn to power and use the domes. When he does that, we will have access to one of Gehn's domes just long enough. After linking to the age which I've written, I only have to locate the book window substance and refine or adapt it. Laying this window over the gateway image should heal the books and make them work. This will allow me to use the second stolen book and return to Riven with more of the book windows. We will then no longer have to rely on Gehn's clumsy domes. I laugh at these plans. I sound like Atris. I'm risking my life, but I feel no fear, only anxiety. Perhaps it is the source of my nightmares. The fissure, like a great wound, is opened. It stains the Riven soil with blood. I hold the Moiety knife. The voices grow so loud. For their part, the Moiety have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. It is the fulfillment of their prophecy, but they are also fearful and tense. I don't know what they will think or do if I fail. It is done. It seems too good to be true. I feel like it's all still a dream. We have already evacuated all the Moiety to this new age. It is beautiful and I am pleased. At last my people will live in safety and comfort. They stand under the bare sky, unafraid and dazzled by their freedom. They are happy. They have named it Tay. There's still much to be done. We are not protected yet. The only way to completely secure this place is to destroy the book which links to here from Riven, but I do not even know how to bring this up to the Moiety. They will be extremely reluctant about destroying their only link to Riven. I share this hesitation. I would be cutting off my only connection, but for their sake it must be done. I'm anxious to know if our activities have aroused Gehn's suspicions. If so, we must act quickly. Even so, I feel that now we are impregnable. Tomorrow I will return to Riven to see Gehn's reaction for myself, but tonight I finally rest. Last entry. Well, we already know the end of that story. She got caught. That was quite a tale. And now, there's nothing else for us to do. We did what Catherine told us to do. We found the Moiety. They restored to us the prison book that Atris gave us to capture Gehn. Now we just need to leave. Which is sad because it feels safe here. I don't want to leave. I want to stay here. In this cool tree. But we're a prisoner. We still can't get out. Neela, who gave us this linking book back to Riven, wants us to go back and rescue Catherine. So we're going to have to attempt to do that next. And interestingly enough, this is restored back to its original... It's reset. It's reset. Now the linking book is gone. And the water's back into place. I'm wondering if this was a part of the cave system that Catherine... Well, no. She had to go... She had to, like, swim through water in order to get here. But this is probably what she described when she said they had to swim through water and then they had a plateau or something that they climbed out of. I wonder if this was it. I could be wrong. Alright, I feel a little lost now. We have the prison book. We have the knowledge from Catherine's journal that we need to... We need to what? What do we need to do? We need to rescue her, but we need to capture Gehn. Okay, that's it. That's it. We need to capture Gehn. Okay, is that really all that's left to be done? Let's leave this open in case prison friend comes back out. Seriously, is there anything else we can do? I feel like we can finish this game right now. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think we've done everything else. We needed to get that prison boat back. We need to rescue Catherine, but we can't do that until we capture Gehn. Yeah, okay, alright, I think that's it. Yeah, my purpose is clear. I think I'm gonna stop here and save that finale for my next video.